Hello everyone, it's Papa Hector here. If you like my channel, don't forget to subscribe below. And if you like this video, don't forget to click like. So today's video is the top 5 mistakes people make when choosing a spiritual worker or a spell caster. Okay, so these are in no particular order, okay, but let's get started. So number 5. Number 5 is hiring too many spiritual workers or spellcasters. Each spiritual worker or spellcaster works differently. And you, as the person getting the work done, generally doesn't know how that person works. Various types of magic can contraindicate each other and can work against each other, as well as the spirits that people are working with. So hiring too many spiritual workers or spellcasters, especially when no one knows that everybody else is also working on the case, is going to cause you a major mess. It's basically the same idea as too many chefs in the kitchen spoil the soup. So hiring too many spellcasters is one way to absolutely make sure you don't get any results, because you're not going to know which spellcaster gave you the results, and you're not going to know which one caused the problems. So that's number 5. Number 4, okay, is being cheap. Okay, so when it comes to your life and your soul and, your love life or your spiritual life or your professional life, you don't want to be cheap. Cheap comes out expensive, as I explained on another video. And a lot of times people get less than qualified workers or not very good spiritual workers based on price. Generally speaking, the better the spiritual worker is, the higher the price they will charge. Why? Because their shit works, basically. To keep a long story short, their stuff works. And people know their worth and their value. So being cheap, usually when you're going around spending on $25 spells, $35 spells, $50 works, $100 works, they're not going to really lead you much of place of anywhere. You have to think, how much work is that person really going to put in for you for that amount of money? And how many people do they have to serve in order to be able to survive? So that's number 4. Number 3, okay, is not getting a consultation. I cover this in video after video after video, but people still refuse to follow the proper steps and then wonder why they don't get what they want or what they desire. It's very simple. If you're not getting a consultation, you're setting yourself up for failure. Someone who doesn't consult you can't really tell you whether or not they can truly help you if they don't look at the situation, diagnose, and figure out what really needs to be done. Free consultations are crappy and get you exactly what they're worth. Nothing. So if you're going to someone who's getting a free consultation, you have to question, why is the consultation free, and what is that person getting out of the deal? And in which case, nothing. They're not getting anything out of the deal. And so very often they're going to tell you that they can resolve any situation, any problem, and not really give you a proper consultation. So that's number 3. Number 2, okay, is being in a rush. Number 2 is being in a rush. When you're trying to rush around, you're not going to think straight or think clearly. You're not going to use what we call common sense. Rushing around often causes lots of problems. I have tons of people that come here that set up an appointment, decide that they can't wait that long for an appointment. So they cancel the appointment, ask for their refund, we send them their refund, and then they go ahead and go off somewhere else. A month later, 2 weeks later, a week later, 3 weeks later, they come back needing an appointment to get a consultation, and now they've been delayed 3 weeks, 4 weeks, plus whatever time it takes to get the new appointment. Why? Because they were in a rush and they thought that they were going to get some super quick result by someone, and that someone was going to instantly change their situation or problem, and that didn't happen. Instead, they ended up going elsewhere and wasting money, oftentimes tons of money, okay, and then having to come back here anyway to get their problem properly resolved. You know, I see this all the time. This is a really, really frequent one. And I mean, I have countless stories of so many clients that this has happened to, where they were in a rush. They couldn't wait for a proper appointment, a proper consultation with me. They ended up going somewhere else, spending hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars, and then coming back here in a worse situation with worse problems and having wasted more time. So it's better to take your time and properly pick a spiritual worker, get a few consultations, find out who best works for you and who best matches you, than to rush to get something done. Okay? And then the number one top, mistake when choosing a spellcaster or a spiritual worker is to be driven by false hopes. Unfortunately, there's many people out there that will give you many false hopes, and even having a consultation with you, they'll promise you a lot of false things and false hopes. Use your common sense, okay? And people don't use common sense a lot of times when looking for spiritual work or spell casting. It's unfortunate. Use your common sense. Things that happen, it didn't usually take an instant to happen, and it doesn't usually take an instant to resolve, okay? Common sense will tell you, a lot of these websites, they go and they tell you that they give you a money back guarantee, but no one actually honors their money back guarantees, and they never give you any money back. And you can see tons of cases where people have requested their money back and not gotten it back. Spellcasting is more art than a science, although there is a science aspect to it. And thus, no one can guarantee spiritual work or spellcasting in the form of that you will get exactly as you desire, when you desire it, so on and so forth. What people can guarantee is that they work well for you and that they're going to do their best. But that's another thing that common sense would say, like, it's a no-go. Use your common sense. If a person tells you that they guarantee they're going to bring somebody back in 24 hours, it's too hard to believe it's not true. Okay? So being driven by false hopes, and I've seen cases where other people have given clients false hopes. They come here, the reality is the reality, and they find that out during consultation, and they can't stand to hear the truth, and they get upset, and they continue to pine on for false hopes, and 6 months later they realize it's never going to happen for them. They wasted 6 months of their life. They come back here, kind of asking me, how can I help them move forward from that? So false hopes, being driven by false hopes. So use your common sense. Use your common sense when you're hiring a spiritual worker or a spellcaster. If it sounds weird, odd, or fishy, take your time. Don't be in a rush. Get a consultation. Okay? Don't be cheap on what you need to get done. If it's really important to you, then it's going to be worth the sacrifice. So that concludes this video. I hope that this has helped you. Keep the faith and God bless you. It's Papa Hector signing off. Don't forget to click subscribe and click like. Speak to you soon. God bless.